Good afternoon. Today I thought of a subject which takes me back into memory lane. Small city life versus big city. And I'm hailing from a small town. For me, it has been a great experiential journey right since the time I reached Delhi in mid 80s and till today. It's been a great experience. I just want to share the life of a small town person in a big city like Delhi. When we came to Delhi, of course, having studied in St. Xavier's, which is a boys' school, and we had certain values inculcated by the Society of Jesuits and all. So probably when we actually came to Delhi, slightly it was a culture shock. But nevertheless, we underwent a lot of jolts because I think the acceptance per se in Delhi of outsiders, there is typically a kind of a discrimination. There is a feeling of, little arrogance, subtle arrogance of a Delhiite brat compared to a small town kid. So we came as a kid and we confronted brats. The first major jolt that we felt was that we were like, of course, studied in good school, you could speak good English. So I think that was a culture shock to the local Delhi guys or people that, hey, he can speak English. And we used to get comments like, oh, you can speak good English, despite coming from a small town. So, we were treated like an alien, coming from some primitive tribal kind of a background and absolutely ignorant about the world and all. So I think the first was a language barrier. Anything beyond the domain of their so-called set standards, if we used to do anything beyond, which for them was like, oh my God, they were aghast. And we were called city dude. Now city dude, well, suddenly they said, oh, you talk like a city dude. For them, again, an acceptance was a challenge. The other major challenges that we used to feel, especially for people who never got the hostel in the university days, and when you went out looking for rental accommodation through the property dealers also used to treat you like naive and stupid and vulnerable. They used to show you houses saying fully furnished house, attached bathroom and kitchen. And when you actually went to see it physically, the fully furnished term itself became a challenge. There was only one chair or maybe an attached toilet with hardly any semblance of a bed, anything around, nor mattress, nor a table. And when you used to confront him saying, hey, this is not furnished, but sir, this is furnished. Can't you see? There's a chair, there's a window, there is a door, there's a bathroom. It's a furnished house. So they also used to treat us as if we are stupid tribals who never understood what is what. So we were always foxed right since early times. And we always had that kind of a typical, even the scooter wallas, the moment they could decipher that we are outsiders, they used to start quizzing us. Quizzing in terms of directions. Where to go? Kahan jana hai? Ye rasta le lu, left. Now you used to get foxed because they used to trap you to charge you for higher rates. So they used to ask you all tricky questions. So in Delhi or in any big city, for a small town guy, it's always like always feels trapped or likely to be trapped. Of course, sooner or later, we try and get into so-called, I don't know whether it's a contra-culture or acculturation, but surely we try and acclimatize to the best. Of course, keeping our values and all intact. Now, coming from small town had our own limitations, we studied from a good school, but it was not a co-ed. So we were like never too much of interaction with women. I mean, there were hardly girls with whom we could interact. So we used to fancy only girls. The only nearest, interaction that we used to have was beautiful teachers, who we were very enamored by some of them because they were the only available remnants of female around. So for us, it was like always a kind of a challenge in terms of interaction with women. So whenever when we came to Delhi and suddenly we were thrown to the university life, where there were like all kinds of girls and those are such more liberated souls. I mean, I never knew what word called casual sex when I came to Delhi, because in our city town, sex was not even talked about casually. Only time we were taught sex, I remember Mr. Thomas teaching us ethics, and that was so abstract that I never fathomed what he actually wanted to convey. He used to say sex is as good as fire and as bad as fire. And here, when we came to Delhi, I mean, we used to find the term casual sex widely prevalent, except we were clueless. And when we got a hang of it, of course, some of my friends, and when they had to actually, especially both boys and girls, it was a big challenge to go across to a chemist shop and ask for a condom or for I-pill. Because the stare and the glare and the question in silence was killer. So, especially for small town people, to buy these protective things was like, girls used to anticipate that they should put sindoor or start wear Mangal Sutra and then try and go and buy an I-pill. Because the stare used to say, hey, only this time, not again. So you became so conscious. Similar with a condom. When the moment they could sense that there is a typically not a Delhi kind, they used to make you more engrossed into a conversation about flavors, brand, pieces, to make you more conscious. So it was always perpetually a challenge in the city life, especially for small town people. Of course, as I said, that they outgrew the system in due course of time, and there was also a reverse acculturation process, because ironically, the best of city girls, this was rather in our times, I hope it's still on in the university, they were mainly enamored by these small town guys, probably who were more, these kids, which I said, unlike the Delhi brats, they were smarter and probably intelligent, if not very flamboyant or very outlandish or not a dandy folk. So I somehow felt this subtle simplicity of small town always appealed to the big city girls. So there have been living examples wherein these small town boys have ended up marrying all the biggies of the city life. So small town guys have graduated from one level to the other, maintaining their basic, as I said, the values and the whatever they have inculcated since childhood, they have maintained and intact. And that is a major thing, wherein when their children have come and got into typically a Delhi or a big city life, they have been able to inherit as a legacy these values, which somehow they have also tried to preserve. So I have a feeling after this coronavirus and the lockdown, the remnants of the small city life is gradually coming back into the foray. The eating at home, the bonding of families, the connectivity, going back into the roots, trying to be more creative, doing a lot of, pursuing a lot of activities which probably city life had inundated. So in totality, I have a feeling it's a kind of a repeat of small city life which we have experienced, and probably we hope to see some remnants of it in the post-corona days in the new normal. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay positive. Bye.